What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you could have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Today on the program, speaking of entertainment, I have Tarzzy Metta of the ancient Dusk Musik. We're going to find out more about that. He's my man in Papua New Guinea, out there halfway around the world, as far as I'm concerned. But to him, I'm halfway around the world. So it's all perspective. And maybe we'll get a little more perspective about this very talented man from Papua New Guinea in the next few minutes. So stick around. This week's shows, I have one public show at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas on Friday night, my usual Friday night gig in Conway from 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM. The Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. Yes, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show. They got a full bar. The kitchen's open. They got some good food in there. The more you eat, the more you can drink. It's not me. It's science. Don't look it up. That's fuzzy science. They got 10 diamond-style pool tables. And they also have a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're doing it, come on out to the Rab, Conway, Arkansas, 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM on Friday. And then on Saturday, I have a wedding. But unless you're invited, you cannot come. Why am I mentioning it? Because I'm excited. I got weddings to do. I get to be a part of people's special days. And they've planned their wedding out. They have some great music picked out. And we're going to party. We're going to have a good time. Give them a great send-off. Weddings. You know, people say that there's wedding season, but I think all year long I'm doing weddings and parties and events. So I'm kind of excited that I get to be a part of those days. Let's see. Oh, that's enough intro. Let's get into it with Tarzzy Metta of the ancient Dusk Musik with a K. Music with a K. I got him on Zoom this time. So if you're listening to the audio version of this, check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDAN. Zooming Tarzzy Metta now. Waiting on the man. There's the man right there. Mr. Ancient Dusk himself, Tarzzy Metta. What's happening?
Hi, brother. I'm good here. All the way from Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea. Oh, my goodness. Yes. You're on the other side of the planet. I thought it was going to be, I think it's the next day already over there. For me, it's the 28th. And for you, what, 29?
I'm in your future, brother.
In the future. Well, we're talking about the future, but we're talking about ancient things, ancient Dusk. That is the latest project that you've had, and it's been going for about a year now. Nice to meet you, by the way, Tarzzy Metta. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly.
Yes, you're calling my name rightly. Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, give the people an idea of who you are. What is a Tarzzy Metta?
Right. Tarzzy is my name. Tarzzy Metta is actually my stage name. Well, I've been in the local industry for quite some time now, maybe over 25 years. I do mostly tribal music, chants and melodies from my culture, my tribal affiliations, and finding ways using modern technology and modern genres of music, to put my ideas into what I think would be palatable to everybody else who is not familiar with my culture.
Well, I know that you have a YouTube page on Ancient Dusk Music, and I did find some songs that were attributed strictly to Tarzzy Metta, Laiso and Pagana Marie. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I cannot understand a word that they're saying, but the rhythms, the groove is going to get you. That is, music transcends language. You could be singing any lyrics, but the music, if it captures you, if it grabs you, you're going to feel it. Now, I want to play those songs on my radio station called RadioWhat.com. So if you'll give me the privilege, I would love to play it, even though most people will not understand the language if they're listening here on this side of the planet.
Oh yes, you have my utmost permission to play the songs. Music is, as you said, it's a property of humanity, and if it gets you wherever you are, it's ours, brother. So you can play it, no problem. And I hope your listeners and your fans and your followers get to enjoy them as you obviously do.
Well, obviously, the music that I play on that station is music I like. I've created my favorite radio station. So if I like it, somebody else is probably going to like it. But tell me about the two songs that I've listened to, and they're both bangers, both, as the British would say, bangers. They groove. You could sit in a backyard party. You could throw them on in the club, in the restaurant, and just listen and have a good time and kind of wonder what you're talking about. Now, Laeso, Laeso, what is that about? Give me the broad strokes of what that song is about, and when did you come up with that?
Right, Laeso is a celebration of life wherever you are. I mean, right. Let's picture this. I'm going to use a picture from my culture. Let's say on a beach, as the sun goes down, it's and there are fires, being lit at the different huts where people are preparing the evening dinner, and then somebody decides to come out with a traditional drum, what we call a kundu, and as the stars start lighting up in the sky, somebody beats that rhythm, and the little children are the first ones to come and join in, and eventually we have the big men and the women, and then it's the whole village just singing along. And then, as time goes on, the children are told to go and sleep, and the men and the women get into their groups. They discuss the day's events and plans for tomorrow, and then we all go to sleep, ready for the next day. So it's something that it's a song that you can sing any day, and it is also used to celebrate significant events like initiations, a new harvest from a garden, any events in a person's life that he thought he'd like to share, then the genre of the songs that they use to celebrate a personal achievement, which can turn into a community thing. So that's Laiso.
Well, I do appreciate that. Whether the music is going to make you rich financially, with paper money, it is creating richness in your family life. If the children come around and they start the groove, and then the adults continue that groove, it's a family affair. It sounds like it's something that you're doing when you're having sharing a meal, sharing a time together, rather than watching a television show or quietly, or watching some kind of a movie quietly. You're actually interacting with each other. and creating a vibe. Now, does this always get recorded, or you don't even bother with that? If people are chanting or having, thinking about what happened during the day. And I do want to know about life in Papua New Guinea. I want you to be the tour guide for the people that are listening to the What Makes You Famous podcast. I want people to know, okay, yes, it's just above Australia. Anyone can look it up, that it's in the Melanesia area, just south of the Asian countries, but north of Australia, right in that sweet spot. And you talked about looking at the water and going to the ocean. Well, you're surrounded by ocean. Are you close to the ocean? Do you have a lot of ocean activities or water activities where you're at?
Yes, where I am right now, it will take me about, let's say 10 minutes to be at the ocean's, at the water's edge.
Oh, do I miss that? I miss that so much. But, how is life in general in Papua New Guinea? I know that you've had, anyone can see that you were part of a Commonwealth, part of England for a little while. Is that still the case? Is that or have you freed up? Tell me about Papua New Guinea.
All right. Okay, there was a question that you asked previously. I'd like to get back to it about whether the music is written yes. down or not, and then I'll come back to your later question.
Please
but,
do.
My culture, the Melanesian culture, is an oral culture. Paganamare or even Laiso has never found their way into any written form or any written record until I decide to sing those songs. So most of our songs, most of the chants and the melodies of the Melanesian people are passed orally from generations to generations. So we don't actually, even right now, we don't actually have a written culture. Most of our history and the stories of our lineage and the songs that we sing and the stories that children listen to at night, bedtime stories and so on, are all kept in the collective minds of the people.
Well, this helps in keeping that the mind alive. People that have trouble with remembering things, Alzheimer, that kind of a thing. But if you're keeping a culture, if you have the responsibility of keeping a culture alive in your mind through speaking, through singing, and getting that to the next generation and the generation after that, that is a responsibility that, man, you have to keep your mind sharp to keep all that in your head, especially if there's little or no written account. I mean, I guess now with technology, you did mention that you're using technology, and we're using technology right now to create this interview, this podcast, to let the people know about who you are, Tarzzy Metta, the ancient Dusk Musik. But you are stepping into a new. I mean, is your people mostly against the new technology? Or do you embrace it and make it a part of the already ancient? I mean, people have been in Papua New Guinea. The Wikipedia says that you've been around for more than 40,000 years. There's been people on that island. So that leads me to believe there is an ancient culture. There's an ancient spirit that is on that island. And you have a responsibility to keep that spirit, that culture alive. That way it doesn't die out. I mean, I know that over the years, since man has been around, cultures have lived, have grown, and then have, often died. But the elders, as you get to a certain age, your job is to teach the next the next
Yes.
generation. Is that a responsibility that you take, with gusto, with pride, with or is it something that's taken lightly by some people?
All right, see, it's a big responsibility. It the because most of our culture is passed on orally. It that ties in with our security as well, the tribal security. Because like if I have a piece of land and it's being alienated by someone else, and because of the fact that there is no written records of that alienation, then if we go to a court of dispute, it's going to be their word against mine and against the other people. So that's why at this time, and as we transition, a lot of things have been written down, but a lot still needs to be done. And with the advance of technology is a very big help in changing a lot of things that leads to preservation and also to advancement. So yeah, I think for us as a tribal person, it's technology is a double-edged sword. It depends on how we use it, and from my experiences, it has helped a lot, and it is going to be the tool that will contribute to the survival of our culture.
Well, you tell me that when you tell a story in one way, in the way that you know it, that you've heard it, and that you've been practicing it since you were small, I'm guessing, since your father told it to you, and then someone else hears that same story, and they have a few different nuances, maybe some different parts that, well, it didn't quite happen that way. It wasn't at nighttime. It was during the daytime. It wasn't sunny. It was rainy. And if they give you those little tidbits of information and there is some kind of a conflict, is there an honor involved? Because I know that the countries just above you, the Asian countries, honor is very important. So if someone comes to you with a dispute, or is it solved very civilly, to where it can be combined? Okay, it was sunny, but it was this day. It was a Saturday and not a Sunday. But tell me about the conflicts. If the stories are slightly different between one family and another.
Right. In many cases, the results of conflict can be drastic, or even life-threatening, and even in some cases, because there are, like, if I have a conflict, if my clan has a conflict with another clan, there are other clans who live together with us who would act as witnesses, and who would be more or less mediators of the conflict that I'm having with someone else. And although my story is different and his story is different, these other people who act as mediators, they help us to arrive at a resolution which is amicable for the two parties and for everybody else. But as in some cases, conflicts do result in situations where we wouldn't like to be in. We don't want to be there, but we've already arrived there.
All right. Well, I hope that peace prevails in most situations. Because if there's a story that, Tarzzy took a boat from the east to the west, and then someone else says, no, you didn't take that boat. You walked from the east to the west. You didn't take it around. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I could see some problems arising if the stories, because even in relationships, husbands and wives, when the husband gets contradicted by the wife, or the wife gets contradicted by the husband, because the story wasn't precisely the way that it happened. On a broader scale, on a fully national scale, I could see that causing some problems. But so that's what Laeso is telling the story. But tell me about Pagana Mare. Pagana Mare, Mare.
Yes, Mare.
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 What is that about?
Pagana Mare.
Another lovely tune.
All right. Pagana Mare is a song about the launch of war canoes. The Melanesian people, during and the other people who live within the Pacific, they conquered those islands through ocean-going vessels, and my people, whom are called the Bakowi people, we build these war canoes, and these war canoes are for two purposes. One is to be used to find new territories, and they're also used by warriors during times of war, when they fight with islands or coastal territories. So we build these canoes, and this song is sung as soon as the canoe is all dug out and fitted with outriggers and sails and so on. And then as soon as it is being pushed out onto the water's edge, and the warriors go onto the canoes, and as soon as they start paddling, this song is sung. It is also more or less like a chant that gives supernatural powers to the canoe to go long distances.
Wow. For me, I'm thinking that this is a song that was fully formed and fully made by you, but this is an ancient song. This is a song that's been passed down from generation to generation, and you have taken the time to put it to music, to record it. I'm thinking of La Bamba, the Mexican song that Richie Valens made famous, where that song was passed down from generation to generation. It was changed a little bit here and there. Instead of saying this word, they would say that word. But until Richie Valens put it on recording and solidified that story in that way, it's not changing, not too much anymore. But do you think that you've done it a disservice, or that you have? Well, I mean, to me, you've brought it to the world instead of keeping it, tight in your culture. You've allowed your culture to go wide to the world by letting this song go out to the world. How do the people feel about that? And how do the people of Papua New Guinea feel about you taking an intercultural song and putting it out to the world?
Okay. 2 weeks ago, we had a launching, the launching of a road network that connects most of my tribal areas, and we had national parliamentarians and the media and everybody else there at the launching, and Pagana Mare was the song that I chose to play, and oh man, the reaction from the tribal owners of the song was so overwhelming. They were so glad. They were very thankful that like the song has been solidified and has gotten a lifespan that will last for some time without so much alteration as you made the comparison with La Bamba. Because like one area of my tribe would sing the exact same song with just a little bit, and then we sing it with just a little bit. And as you said, as you rightly made the comparison during the launching, I did it the way I was taught, and everybody else agreed with it. And it's not a disservice. It is a. I think I'm honored to have done a great service to my tribal music with Pagana Mare.
Well, it sounds like that opening, that event was magical, and being a part of it and being able to put that piece of culture out into the world by singing that. It had to feel. You had to have a sense of pride, and people had to have been admiring you for your singing and your music playing. Now, do you have live musicians that come out and play all this music, or is it a track that is put together in a studio and you're able to put that track on and sing over it? How does that work?
Most of the time, we play live with a group of musicians, but like at times when I cannot afford musicians, and at situations and events where it would need less, then I do tracks, and I'm also a saxophonist, so
hey. Yeah, I saw some pictures of you with the saxophone in your hand. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Now, tell me the difference. Is there a difference between Tarzzy Metta, the solo, and Ancient Dusk music? Is there a difference, or is this an evolution where you're changing to become Ancient Dusk?
Yes, I think it is an evolution. I met up with an old friend of mine. We are from the same town. He's the sound engineer at one of the countries and even the region's biggest music production studio. It's called CHM, and we were sort of like dissatisfied with the direction and the content and the way in which the national industry is heading. So we, his name is Raymond Walaloki. Raymond Walaloki and I decided that, based on the kind of music that I do, with most of my materials being derived from cultural tunes, we decided that we should do a project and we should see where it goes. And then we were looking around for a name, and I said, hey, why don't we use this? And so and I said, I suggested Ancient Dusk. And they asked, what does Ancient Dusk mean? And I said, well, there are some things that you can actually explain, but I said, I feel that this would be a good name. There'd be some explanation, but and then we stuck with it, and that's how it is. We have Ancient Dusk, and we've already had the tracks down for our next single, and this weekend I think I should be going into the studios to record that.
Well, Ancient Dusk is an appropriate name because you're singing a lot of ancient songs. But
yes,
they're being sung now in the dusk, in the later part of life.
Yes.
Okay, we're not spring chickens. I'm in my 50s right now. But I remember in my 20s. Oh yeah, I remember in my 20s I could do anything. I was made of rubber. But now, hey, it's getting close to the dusk. I better start recording some of those memories, or else I'm going to lose them forever. I'll forget them. Because like I said, when time progresses, you have that responsibility to keep that culture alive. And this is going to take a lot of the responsibility of your brain that may or may not remember certain things if you can record on video, on audio, and tell those stories to the generations, even long after we're gone. You're going to be telling those stories and giving those insights of to who Tarzzy Metta was and now Ancient Dusk is. But are you thinking now that you've done or you're doing a project filled with tribal, with ancient stories, you're going to finish that? Do you think that you're going to be doing more originals, or are you going to be finding more tales from the past, more stories that have been brought down? Or is there there's no limit? Are you limitless on how many stories have been brought down?
Yes, this I've got originals, and oh, by the way, I also love doing covers. There are thousands and hundreds of thousands of great songs out there. That sometimes you'd think, hey, I'd like to do that song. So I've got originals, and there will be a time to do those originals. Right now, the most important project on my mind and that takes all my effort is Ancient Dusk, because I think if we get Ancient Dusk somewhere, then all the originals that I have and any other things that I like to do with Ancient Dusk. So Ancient Dusk, it's because of its uniqueness. Is the project that I'd like to spend my time on. In the immediate future.
Oh, it can be all encompassing. Like I said, you start with the ancient, and you go all the way to the dusk. So you have the time limitless, time immemorial to sing your songs, to make your creations, and you not only sing the songs, but even make a little music video or record yourselves while you're singing live, and you could put it on YouTube. The nice thing, even if you're an independent artist, you have so many platforms that you can spread your wisdom, your knowledge, oh my goodness. I love talking to you. We talked a little bit about Ancient Dusk, but you spoke to your musicianship. You've been doing it as Tarzzy Metta for over 20 years. Tell me about little Tarzzy Metta and when you picked up the saxophone. And I've seen other pictures of where you have not only the saxophone, but also maybe a bass guitar. What instruments are you playing, and when did you start playing them?
Right. That's this old saying. What did it say? Something, and then master of none. Was it?
Okay. Now that is a saying that I've had a lot of conflict about. A jack of all trades and a master of none. No, but there's more to that. People usually stop a jack of all trades, but a master of none is better than being a master of one. So it's good. It's good to be a jack of all trades. That means you have a great thirst for knowledge. You want to try new things. You might excel at one thing, maybe two, maybe a handful of things, but you want to try hundreds of things. So be a jack of all trades and a master of none. That's a beautiful saying, but they always stop it there. It's better than being a master of one, because if you're only doing that one thing, specializing, I know that there's neurosurgeons that may have something to say about that. To specialize in psychiatry or neurosurgery or a certain kind of law. But I'm glad that you've picked up several instruments. Now tell me about, I guess it was the saxophone that you're most proficient in?
Yes, actually, I had formal training with the saxophone. I was honored to be taught by my country's some of my country's great musicians who pioneered the genre where ancient dust is trying to pursue right now. There is a pioneer group of musicians, and they are called the Sanguma Band, and it was one of them who taught me music, and I decided to specialize on the saxophone. Yes, so that's a saxophone and a bit of piano, but I think I played the guitar, the piano, and the saxophone, and I sing as well.
Well, we're always standing on the. Go ahead. Sorry.
It also helps me in the arrangement of my songs. Now I can if I don't get the sequences good on the guitar, I sit on the piano and I see if I can get it from there. If there is a riff that would be best on the saxophone, I pick up the sax and So yes, I think what you said at the beginning is applies for the fact that I actually can pick up several instruments.
Well, it's nice to have that versatility and to be able to bring to other musicians, to a studio engineer. I want this arrangement. You have that formal training. I've talked to so many professional musicians that cannot read a note of music, that cannot come up with a melody. Now, one of the through lines on this podcast that I've been thinking about, that's been weighing heavily on my mind, is that all the melodies may have been written already. It's how you arrange those melodies. It's how you make them soar up or you make them soar down to create certain moods. And putting the lyrics is really the importance and causing, having little nuances. Maybe you'll have a clap on this song. Maybe you'll have a timbali on that song. Maybe you'll have a cowbell on that song. And that's what adds the flavor to those melodies. But I fully believe that all the chord progressions, all the melodies have been written already. It's just the way that we can arrange them and present them to people. But so you're in agreement maybe a little bit?
Sorry?
Yeah, but you're in agreement maybe that the melodies have all been written. It's just the way that we interpret those melodies.
Yes.
Yes. But you having formal training, that has to make it that much easier when you bring it to your friend at, you said CHM, the music the studio. Now, do they have a band of musicians or a stable of musicians at that studio, or do you have to bring all the instrumentation in with you when you're recording your albums?
All right. When I was doing my when I was working as a solo, the company had just about everything that a musician would want. With the onset of technology in the late 90s, the early 2000s, up to this stage now, there has been a drastic downsizing of the music arm of that company. So that's when they used to have a stable of about five studio engineers and a mastering facility and a CD press and a cassette factory. At their peak, that was when I had a contract with them, and like right now, the only engineer that is studio engineer that is left there now is the one that I'm working with, who is also a member of Ancient Dusk.
Oh, that's fantastic to have that close family. But you've already touched upon downsizing is the wave of the future. If a company can get robots and AI to do all the work for them, they will fire all the people. I fully believe that. Call me a cynic, but they will. If they can get a chat GPT to write a song, they will, and create the music as well. But do you fear for the future, or do you think that humans will always have a place? And if we're already in a simulation, I bow down to my AI overlords. I hope that you allow me to live. It's tough, and I know that there was litigation about that.
You have a very nice sense of humor, my brother.
I hope it's humorous. I really do. I don't know. We might be in a simulation. It's possible. We could be living the Matrix. But I like your part of the Matrix. Papua New Guinea sounds great. I hear birds in the background tweeting. And, it's so beautiful. Yes. I could tell that you're 5 minutes away from the ocean. So even if that's a simulation, yes. I could live in that simulation. No problem. Happy to do it.
I exactly don't fear, AI taking over. Being a human is more superior than anything else. In fact, we created them, and we will always be. They are made for our convenience.
Yes.
So, you and I would still be making music. We'd still be doing our podcast. Would still be doing the things we love. And AI does not have love. It only simulates. And that's where human beings in charge of everything.
Well, the company that you were with, that you had a contract with, has downsized. They've taken away their record production, their CD production. There's no need for that for the most part. There's only a few people, myself not included, that are buying CDs and buying records. I don't buy records. I don't buy CDs anymore. I have a very few CDs, and I'm looking at them tacked up on my wall right to the right of me. I have a one record album and 2 CDs tacked up on the wall. I don't play them. I look at them. They're artwork for me. Now everything is streaming online. And, for the most part, people are not making a living with the streaming money. The only living you can make is with playing live. Now, as Tarzzy Metta, you did play live. What kind of events did you play as a solo act back then?
I played in a variety of events. Some big ones. But I like those smaller events, those intimate ones, where you could actually interact with your audience. Have a chat with them after a song, and then after it, go up on stage and continue. So those are the type of events that I like. And in fact, actually, I'm playing a saxophone gig this weekend on Saturday at our local market.
That's wonderful. That is something that you can do with a saxophone, with a guitar, with an instrument that has more portability. You cannot take a baby grand piano around with you and go busking. No, I'm sad to say. But maybe a keyboard, maybe a guitar, one of those keyboard guitars that they used to have back in the 80s. But I could see you going through a marketplace, playing your sax, either walking it like a minstrel or standing in place and have your sax box open, and maybe somebody will throw some dollars in there or whatever the money. What is the money in Papua New Guinea?
It's called a kina.
You need a bunch of kinas.
Kina.
I like that. I like that. Give some more kimas to Tarzzy Metta. Now you're in Kim Bay with the kimas. How about that? All right, all right. But it's nice that you're playing live now. Is this something that you've been contracted to do, or you're going to the market and doing some busking?
I've been asked by the market authority. It's a new market. It's being built with donor funds from Australia and New Zealand, and it's quite an awesome facility. And there's actually a square in the market, and I think I heard the management calling it the Red Square. That's and I
Interesting.
I would be the first entertainer to use that.
Very
And
good. They'll always remember the first.
Yes, and after that, other artists and musicians will go in, at times designated by the market authority to, entertain the crowd.
Well, very good. You mentioned Australia. Is Papua New Guinea still a Commonwealth of the United Kingdom, or is it completely independent?
Oh yes, we are still a Commonwealth. Our head of state is the Governor General, who is a representative of the monarchy, King Charles. Yes.
Okay, so the Governor General is still Bob Dede?
Yes, he is.
Very good. Okay. See, now I'm getting a little bit of history, a little bit of knowledge about the place that you live. I'm kind of. I mean, how is it? Wow, have you ever known Papua New Guinea in any other governmental? Has there ever been a governmental change in your lifetime?
Oh yes. In fact, right now, it's Tuesday where you are. Yesterday, there was going to be a motion in our parliament to replace our prime minister.
Oh,
that has been put forward to next week. So it's going to be on Tuesday next week, where the two factions in government, not in government but in our parliament, are looking at putting in a motion to remove our current prime minister. But it depends on the numbers on both sides,
So that's James Murray. What happened? Did he do something wrong, or is everything?
No, people are just dissatisfied with the way he's running the country, especially in terms of the economy.
I'm reading it right now. No confidence.
Prices are going up. People feel that with the resources that we have, that we are not being properly compensated for, and that results in the prices of goods in the stores and the markets going up. So I think that's the main reason why people have been talking to their elected representatives to remove him.
Well, do you feel it? Because I know I feel it when I go to the market, when I fill my tank full of fuel. I feel the prices just going up, and the compensation for a job well done is not going up as fast as inflation in this country. Is it the same in Papua New Guinea?
Oh yes, it is the same here. I feel it very much. I have a daughter who is studying at our University of Technology.
Hey, congratulations!
Having to meet her expenses, and then another daughter at school here with me, and then general groceries. 100 kina used to buy me a lot 5 years ago, or even 10 years ago, and like right now, we do struggle a bit, and I think that's the main reason why people talk to their elected members to make that change.
Well, now it's starting to sound like old man corner here on the What Makes You Famous podcast. $100 used to buy me a bag full of groceries, a new car, and pay my mortgage on the house. But now it doesn't. I can't get 3 hamburgers for that much money, or 4 apples for $100. It's just it is. We're back in my day, but it does become old man corner, but we are teaching the future. And what kind of a future are we leaving for our children? Congratulations that your daughter's in the Institute for Technology, because technology seems to be the wave of the future. That's how they create the robots. And if there's only one person that can work on those robots, I think your daughter's got a bright future ahead of her, where she can keep up with that technology. I'm a dinosaur. I can barely use this microphone that's in front of me. I'm very happy that the connection worked out so well that I'm able to talk to Tarzzy Metta, the ancient Dusk Musik. It's fantastic, and gain a little insight. So things things are the same all over the world. The little guy is struggling still with the price of milk or the price of a bread, and fuel. But how
much is it?
Go ahead.
How much is a hamburger where you are now?
A hamburger. It depends. Even McDonald's has gone up. I think it's $4, and it used to be 50 cents. When I was a kid, it was less than $1 when I was, in the 80s. And now it's more than $4 for a hamburger. Come on. That's crazy. So, and the pay hasn't reflected. The people are not getting compensated as much as they should. In fact, in your business, this more than anything, is that record sales are zero, non-existent. You're not making money from record sales or CD sales. You're barely making money off of streaming. The only good thing that streaming does is it gives you that exposure, and then someone will ask you, can you bring your saxophone over to the market and play for us? Yeah. And maybe I'll throw you a couple of dollars, so you could pay your rent next month, which is great. How do people support you now? Do you have merchandise? Or, I've already going to include the links in the show notes below for Apple Music, Amazon, Boomplay. Those are the 3 places that I found that you could buy your music from. What other way would you like people to support Tarzzy Metta and the Ancient Dusk Musik?
Right. We have just been given a domain name. We are getting our website up, and through that website, we will be selling our merchandise. Maybe set up a paywall for some of our contents. It is actually right now, as we talk, it is at the early infant stage, but we've already secured the domain name, and that's ancientdusk.com.
I saw that. So, you have Jason Statlander over at Big Records is helping you in that front. Now, what does Big Records do for you? I've known them to be a very reputable service, and as far as I can see, they're really trying to help the artist out. But are they helping you to build the website as well? What is Big Records doing for you?
Big Records have done us a lot of good service, and we are sticking with them for the next foreseeable future. Especially what we like about the services that they help with the foundation of your career as an independent artist. It's very hard being an independent artist, as everybody knows, as you know. But having a relationship with Big Records, they've sort of anchored us down, and secured us some publicity that that helps us with opportunities where we are,
Yeah.
and outside as well, and helping us and like with what's happening now with the setting up of our website, and we think that that's a big step, and through that we will think of creative ways in which we can monetize our content and our music through our website. But all in all, Big Records have done us something that is tremendous, and we are thankful for them for that.
Well, I
for
like
all
that
their services.
they're far-reaching. Their services are far-reaching. But have you thought about touring in other parts of the world, or do you primarily stay in Papua New Guinea? Do you have a family that will keep you anchored to Papua New Guinea? Because I know it's hard to tour as a musician when you have people that love you and want you to stay close. Do you have? I know you mentioned your daughter, but do you have other people that would keep you from wanting to tour around the world?
Oh yes, I have a family, and my family has been very supportive with with what I do, and they would love for me to expand the horizon and the reach of the type of music that I love and which I like to bring to other people, and by bringing my music to other people, I hope they appreciate my music, which they will, and it is only through that we can work towards peace. So yes, my family would love for me to tour. I've had some conversation with Big Records, and there is a plan. Well, I am actually planning the Big Records tour here in Papua New Guinea next year.
Wow, that's wonderful. That is such good news. I know that they have television. They have other ways to you can do live events online and charge a small amount for that, or a large amount depending on what people want to pay. Once you get to a certain level, it's nice that you're bringing your culture, your type of music to the world. I'm a fan already. I listened to those 2 songs, and I'm ready to listen to more songs and put them out as best with the reach I have, and let people know, because the radio station that I play, it'll play the song, but it also tweet the song. I guess it's X the song now. I don't know what to call it anymore. It's Twitter. It's always Twitter. Even if Elon Musk wants to change it to X, but I'll tweet it out, and I'll make sure that people on social media know that the song was created or was played by Tarzzy Metta of Ancient Dusk Music. Now, how do you want people to connect with you, to collaborate, or to, if they want to ask you certain questions? What's the best way to find you, Tarzzy Metta?
I've got my favorite social media platform is Facebook.
Okay.
And I invite musicians, friends, anybody who wants to chat to check me up on my social media page with the name Tarzzy Metta. We also have the Ancient Dusk band page, Ancient Dusk. We also have a YouTube channel which we are slowly populating. And hopefully, when we do the official launching and we populate our webpage more, that's going to be our home, and that's where people can come in there and check out everything that we do.
Well, I'm glad that I found the Ancient Dusk YouTube site. I also have in the show notes your personal Tarzzy Metta Facebook, and then the Ancient Dusk Facebook. That logo is fantastic. Who designed that logo for you?
So, sorry?
Who did the logo?
I think we have a bit of problem with our connection, yes.
It's okay. We're about to close up anyway. The Ancient Dusk logo. Who made that logo for you?
Oh, yes. The Ancient Dusk logo was created by a local graphic artist. His name is Steven Malerkit. He created that logo for the band. The conch shell in the logo at the bottom around is the provincial emblem. Is the emblem of my province.
No, it's beautiful, and
So
I'm from an island myself, so I know about conch shells. I love it. I love that you've done this.
Yeah.
And I see that you not only promote yourself on your website, but you also promote other artists as well. Rachel Dara, I've had her on the podcast, and Michael Bate, I've had him on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
These are wonderful people, and it's nice that you're building a community and helping each other out. That's something that I want to see more of. And as I open my eyes, I do see more that musicians help each other to gain. There's room for everyone and all types of music and all types of creativity. So I'm glad to know you, Tarzzy Metta. I don't want this to be the last time that we talk, but I do want to close this up because I want to be mindful of your time. I hear the little birdies. I hope you get a chance to go to the ocean very soon, because I haven't been to an ocean in over 15 years. I need to get to an ocean. And I'm from an island. I'm from the island.
You need to go there.
I need to go there. All right, my man. Let's close this thing up. Are there any other avenues that you want to explore? Anything else you want to tell people?
My music is all about well, let me start this way. The world is full of diversity, and at the same time, we don't really appreciate that diversity. So Ancient Dusk Music is all about bringing that diversity out there. Like, the next song that we are doing is a lullaby, but it's a lullaby from my perspective, from my point of view. Somebody at the very top of Canada, those very cold places, would have a lullaby, and they sing that lullaby differently. Someone in India, so we have that diversity, but we still have that humanity. And I think by bringing all our diverse cultures together in one place through music, we will appreciate each other more. And we will break down all the unnecessary barriers that we have erected, between us for so long. And I think we can only do that by starting to appreciate the diversity that is there in the world today. I think that's what I have to say for our close-up.
Oh, I love your words. I love your disposition. You make me smile, man. This is great. And we're talking from halfway around the world. All right. Now that was some good last words, but I do want to close this off with some very final words for the people. This could be words to live by. This could be something you heard a long time ago. This could be a mantra that you wake up with every morning, or whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Tarzzy Metta, the Ancient Dusk Music, give the last words for the people.
Life is a gift. Make use of that gift.
Well, there you have it, party people. Tarzzy Metta, Ancient Dusk Music. Now, I have all these social medias down below in the show notes. I have the Facebook, the Instagram, the LinkedIn, the YouTube pages. There's even a YouTube that's kind of a topic YouTube. They do have the Ancient Dusk YouTube. I encourage you to go to that one. That's the one that's got most of the content on there and giving you more up to date of what's going on with Ancient Dusk music. There's also the Apple, Amazon, and Boomplay sites where you can support this nice man with his endeavors playing that music. And if you still haven't heard any of Tarzzy Metta's music, the Ancient Dusk music, I'm going to encourage you, go check out Laiso and check out Pagana Mare. I still didn't get the pronunciation proper. I'm sorry, people of Papua New Guinea. I hope you'll forgive me. But I did have a good time talking to Tarzzy Metta. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, the What Makes You Famous podcast. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email KeysDAN@AOL.com. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.